One nice thing about the quiz. One nice thing about the quiz is that if I'm reviewing this information and I'm like, hey, there's a decent chance that this appears on the quiz, I feel like this is easier than the projectile stuff, right? All you need to know is your geometry, the trig, how to practice it, how to write it out, how to read it. If I'm getting blown off course, or if the current is pushing me off course, you're using Pythagorean theorem, you're saying a squared plus b squared equals c squared. If you're getting blown on course in terms of you're going to reach your destination and you navigate in advance to reach there, it's c squared minus a squared equals b squared, right? Like you have the hypotenuse now, okay? Because you know that you're going to navigate with your engines down the hypotenuse, but then you get pushed down the leg. So let's just break it down into simpler terms. If I've got the plane's velocity and the wind's velocity, why don't I just add those together? So when you have a tailwind, our resultant velocity is the addition of the two. And of course, we're still adding head to tail. So if I have a headwind, I'm still adding, but it works against me. And so from start to finish, it adds head to tail, but it is a shorter vector. And then if I have a crosswind, I have down and to the right in this case. And so down and to the right is my resultant vector. So A, B, C, or H. So if I encounter a 50 kilometer per hour tailwind and I'm moving at 250, tailwind, is that hurting or helping? Right. It's like getting pushed on a swing. So I have a small child, so it makes more sense if I refer to it that I have a small child that doesn't know how to swing on his own. All right. This one is 250. Oh, Mr. Kwan put a plus. What is he going to add to this then? A negative 50. You're like, Mr. Kwan, I would have just subtracted. Okay, cool. We're on the same page. It's not. Y'all are past that. That was like so 6th grade. How do I do this one, though? 250 squared plus 50 squared equals something squared. So take the square root of both sides. And my answer is plus or minus 255, but we know we're not in the negative direction. It doesn't. Oh, so we're going to go south and west. So you're right. This is kilometers per. I haven't even solved this in any of my classes. At an angle of 250. Inverse tangent of 250 divided by 50. 78.7 degrees. South of west. Yeah, that's the full answer. Pythagorean theorem. Then if we're looking for an angle, inverse trig. But of course, this is if we're getting blown off course. What happens if I'm trying to pilot and end up on course? So, if I'm trying to end up directly west from our starting point, this is our start. We're trying to end up directly to the west. We know that the wind is blowing from the north, which means it's heading which way? To the south. Okay? So if I have a wind blowing to the south, then I'm going to have to pilot my craft northwest to go west. If I pilot my craft northwest, my wind is going to blow me onto course. And if I'm blown onto course, I end up right there. Is there any difference between the light blue over here and the addition of the pink arrows? No. I'm just adding them head to tail, and you can add them in any order, remember? No, I don't remember. I only did that so that way when I write my numbers, I can say, hey, from the x-axis right here. Because the x-axis is actually right here, and it's a weird x-axis. That's the only reason why I redrew it. 40 and 250. 250 is my diagonal because I'm going to use some of my engine power to counteract getting blown off course. 250 squared plus 40 minus 40 squared. Equals b squared. I probably should have said y squared because it's a vertical. No, x squared because it's a horizontal thing that I'm worried about. Y'all aren't shouting out answers and volunteering, so I'll just do it. Huh? Oh, square root. That's like really big. All right, so 246. That's less than 250. That makes sense. 247. Kilometers per hour is my travel speed relative to the ground. That's how I end up going west. But which way is my plane pointing? Yeah, inverse sine of opposite over hypotenuse. So 4 divided by 25. Like, Mr. Quan, I have 40 divided by 250. Yeah, I just divided both sides by 10. That's fine. I don't even remember what I'm typing in. 40 divided by 250. 9.2 degrees. What way is this? What of what? North of the west line. Is this part of that vector? Is this part of the 247? No, because the 247 goes which way? West. This number corresponds to my 250. Right? So we need the direction of the plane pointed and the magnitude of the plane's velocity. All right. I'm going to quickly treat sample 1 and sample 2 of two-dimensional motion as practice as well. Let me just set you up for success. That if I'm going to head 40 degrees east of the north line, it is annoyingly east of the north line instead of north of the east line. So what kind of angle did I give you? it's complementary to your positive x-axis, right? And so this is actually, you might have to flip around your sine, cosine, tangent. If you're used to east-west being cosine and your north-south being sine, you might have to flip that around. Here's what I would do. I would say I want my sum of all my x's and the sum of all my y's. But when you add them, you have to add x. Well, they're perpendicular. X's and perpendicular to y's. So we need the total sum of all the components first. So I'm going to say that I have 600 in the x direction. This is weird. Sine. This feels unnatural. Sine 40. 600 cosine 40. The wind adds 50 from the west. That means it's to the east. And I get some number of x total, some number of y total. What do I do with those when I'm done? How do I get a diagonal? Pythagorean theorem. Okay. Pythagorean theorem. And then how do I find the angle? And a lot of times I'll do y over x to get my angle. Inverse tangent of y over x will give me my angle. All right, that's how I would set these up. The next problem, problem number 2, will go which way? West of south. 4 degrees west of the south line. If the wind is blowing at 50 kilometers at 170, that's close to 180. It's not 180 yet. So I bet you this one goes up just a little bit. What I would do is I'd chart it out. X, Y. Both of these are going west. That's west plus west. So I've got a negative and a negative. Negative x-axis, negative x-axis. What's my y, though? It's down and then up, right? So down and then up just a little bit. I'll graph my coordinates from start to finish. This is my total change in x, total change in y. All right, there you go. And that's how I would get these problems done, okay? I would chart out. You're going to need numbers here. You're going to add them up. And then again, you're going to do the Pythagorean theorem and inverse tangent, okay? That's all I've got for you. Any questions?